Hey guys, I'm back again. I have some free time on my hands, so I thought I'd just pump out another video, and I might get some more coming within the next day or days and everything. So I'm really enjoying this. And as you see from the title of this video, I'm going to be doing my review for the first season of Fear the Walking Dead, the spin-off to, of course, AMC's The Walking Dead, and that. So I'm going to dive right into this. I will say I'm not a professional kind of critic, so if you're looking for someone like that, um, feel free to go find someone that's completely fine. I'm doing this as a hobby, as an interest, as I love sharing my thoughts, and this review will also contain spoilers. So yeah, sit back and relax, and I will dive right into this and that. So diving right in to my thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead, let's pretty much start off with you'd want to start with the characters, I'd say. So I'd start off by talking about the characters in the show and everything. So we have Kim Dickens playing the lead female in Madison Clark, Cliff Curtis playing Travis, and I will come back to each of them. Cliff Curtis playing Travis Manawa, and that her boyfriend. Frank Delane playing Nick Clark, Madison's son, Kim Dickens' son in the show. Alicia Debnam Carey playing Alicia Clark, and that Madison's daughter. Elizabeth Rodriguez playing Liza, who is Cliff Curtis's Travis's ex-wife. And then you have Mercedes Mason playing Ophelia, who is the daughter to Ruben Blades' character Daniel Salazar. And then you have Lorenzo James Henry, who plays Christopher Manera, who is Cliff Curtis's son, or Travis Manera's son. And then you have Coleman Domingo, who plays a character by the name of Victor Strand, probably the most interesting character in this show, and that. And that's something I will touch on, and that. But before I get to that, sorry, just taking a drink. Before I get to that, I'll dive into pretty much just saying into the performances. I thought everyone did a very fine job in this show. I thought they all delivered on very solid performances in that. Especially, I think my favorite in the show might have been Ruben Blades, Daniel Salazar. I think he's my favorite character from the show, and I will say just off initially, just to start off with, I did enjoy the series, and I know a lot of people got bored of it, but I did enjoy it, and then I'll dive more into it. But anyway, starting with like Daniel Salazar, he is my favorite character in the show because of Ruben Blades' performance, who is he's fantastic in this series, in my opinion. We only get 6 episodes so far. It's only a 6-episode first season, but it was he was very good in it, and that I thought Cliff Curtis was great. Kim Dickens was a great lead, I guess you could say. That's the kind of funny thing about this series, and it's what The Walking Dead has turned into now. It isn't a bad thing at all, and that is there's not really a lead in this show. Like in The Walking Dead, it used to be Rick, as we knew, and with Fear the Walking Dead, it's like at first we were kind of under the impression it could have been Travis, and then it changed to thinking it could be Madison that's the lead. But now it's all over the place, which isn't a bad thing because there's focus on everyone, and I like the focus they're giving to all the characters in this show, and they're doing it well in my opinion. And I do like the evolution of these characters, of how Travis starts off thinking the walkers or zombies are sick and everything like this, and it is frustrating as viewers who have watched about 5 seasons of The Walking Dead up to the point of Fear the Walking Dead, and so it is frustrating because you see like how familiar we are with zombies watching it and how the other survivors are, but you need to remember this is like as this show is taking place, Rick is still in his coma, so you need to remember kind of that they're trying to we're seeing the apocalypse through the eyes of people who are kind of trying to process this happening and everything like that, and everything as the world is collapsing around them. And this is something that comes into what I think is probably one of the negatives about this series, is skipping into, I think that I'm, but no, sorry about that, but I think skipping into the apocalypse kind of, that was a disappointment, and that's skipping what we wanted to see and everything, because when Fear the Walking Dead was marketed and advertised and everything, and talked about, we were kind of under the impression it was going to show us the like showing us processing into the apocalypse, like the progression in right into the apocalypse. It kind of skipped into that after the military came at the end of episode 3. Wasn't it like a 2-week time get like it just skipped into it, and that was a disappointment. That's probably my most disappointing thing about this series, was how it skipped what we were hoping to see. But saying that, we still saw survivors who were trying to process what's going on as a group, as a family. When it was Rick kind of learnt the basics on his own pretty quickly from Morgan and that. But with this, it's like a family trying to work out pretty much, like they know that these so quote unquote sick people, zombies or whatever, are going to get you killed, but is there a cure for them? Like, can they still hear you and all this and everything? Like, it's very interesting in that, and I did like how they still touched on that, but it was disappointing how they skipped into it a little bit, and that when they could have done more there and everything. They showed a bit of the riot stuff, which I liked. That was really cool, seeing all the riot stuff go down. And yeah, so we saw a bit of the writing and stuff you would expect and everything like that. And yeah, but it was a little disappointing I skipped into it. But I did love the setting of LA, because it's so different to where we are in the main show and everything. With the how this series ends on the shoreline with the boat and everything like that, with Strand's boat and everything, which I'll get back to and whatnot. And I did like that, with the whole beach and the city and everything. LA has such a different vibe to Atlanta did when we started with The Walking Dead. So it's a very different vibe there. And I don't want to just compare the shows, but it's hard not to mention the other show when reviewing this one. But I'm reviewing, when I come down to it at the end of this review, I will review it on its own standards and everything, as its own show, and that, not what it is compared to The Walking Dead and everything. And yeah, as well as that, I like the setting of LA. I thought it was a nice change for this show and this kind of universe of sorts, of the Walking Dead universe, and that I can't, I can't say I like the military angle of it all. It made sense, I guess, for the early stages of it, and I don't think we'll see any military, at least much military, again in this series, and that. But I don't know. I didn't care for the military stuff at all in this series, and that it didn't bother me. I just didn't care for it at all, and that. But I don't know. That's just me, and that. But I did like how it and the military stuff kind of plays into it, but it's pretty much the whole vibe of the show overall. It kind of gave me that zombie movie-esque vibe, like a George Romero movie kind of vibe for some reason, and I really like that. I think what plays into that was the new opening for the series, with that kind of loud kind of not screeching, but that I would attempt it, but I'm not very good at in doing an impression of something or impersonate, kind of, you know what I mean? So you know what I mean. You should know what I'm talking about. The new intro for this series compared to The Walking Dead's, and I do like how this one has a very zombie movie kind of vibe to it, which is really cool, and that makes it feel very different and very kind of um yeah, it makes it feel like its own thing. But you still, when you watch the show, you still get that vibe that's still in the Walking Dead universe. At least I do. And even if you don't get that vibe, it's fine. Doesn't need to feel like it's in the same universe, and that. So that's not really a negative or a positive. So that's fine. Um, and it's the show though. Now some people had this problem. I can see where they're coming from, and I can somewhat agree, and that and and people could say people wouldn't say this if season one was like 16 episodes or something like this, but no, I think we would still say this, is the fact that there is probably too slow of a burn, and that to lead off with things and everything. Like, I think we saw the, like, yeah, you should know what I'm talking about. Like, you didn't get any full-on stuff until at least the finale in episode 6. There's nothing really crazy happening in the first 5 episodes, honestly. You get a few walkers here and there. I did love the scene in episode 3 where Daniel shoots the walker, and that, where I shoot the walker. It's like, and yeah, in the face in Travis's, no, in Madison and Travis's house, I'm pretty sure it was in, and that was a very fun scene and everything, very brutal scene. So you get a few cool shots of the walkers in there. I loved the Walker Horde in the finale where Daniel leads them out onto the military as a distraction, but that could have backfired very easy. That was very risky. I don't know. I could agree with that kind of plan he had going there and everything, but it ended up working for the most part, and that even though you got the reveal at the end of Liza getting bit and then Travis having to shoot her on at outside Strand's house, and this played off nicely back in episode 3, I would say it was, where Liza tells Madison not to let if anything happens to her, how do you say, not to let Travis shoot, that's it, and everything. So yeah, and then when it comes down to it, Travis is the one that shoots her, and the reason she didn't want that is because she would think it would break him and everything, and we're bound to find that out next season when it returns for a 15 episode second season, which is exciting, and it's even more exciting that they say it's going to hopefully be more faster paced, which I'm crossing my fingers for. But I'll touch on season 2 a little bit at the end and everything. I'll probably make my own video on my thoughts of season 2 and what I want to see, but I'll touch on it a little bit in this. As well as that, I liked the I liked the characters. I think there was maybe the only two I didn't like as much was maybe Chris and Alicia. I think Chris being Travis's son and Alicia being Madison's daughter, and they weren't bad. They did solid performances. Their performances are fine and everything. Just I didn't care for them that as much. And I really liked Frank Delane as Nick. I know the drug aspect of him turned a lot of people off, and I can understand that. And he was a bit whiny at times, and that where. Yeah, at times he was a little too whiny and everything, which I didn't really like all that much. But for the most part, I liked him. I liked his kind of relationship of sorts that's going between him and Strand, and that I liked what's happening there. And Strand's a very interesting character, very fun character, and I'm very intrigued with him. And that's the most fun thing about him is he's a very intriguing character, and I can't wait to see what they actually do with him. I can't really say much on him because he's introduced in the penultimate episode, in episode 5, and we only have him for 2 episodes in this season. But he's coming back as a series regular in season 2, so that's exciting. I can't wait to see what they actually do with him and everything like that. As well as that, what else do you have? Well, I liked Tobias, that young kid. I'm curious to see if they'll bring him back, or will he just be like what Morales was in The Walking Dead, where he's in that character in season 1 who just goes away and we never ever see him again. We'll see. I tend to think we will see Tobias again. I don't know how, now that they have the boat and they're going to be on the boat and everything, I assume. But I tend to think we will see Tobias again because of the actor's enthusiasm. You can see the actor's enthusiasm online. I just tend to think we will. I don't know to what extent though. Yeah, as well as that, there was a few predictable moments in the series. Like you knew even before the series began that Alicia's boyfriend Matt was gonna die early, and he did. He was pretty much bitten probably during the events of the first episode, and that where she's trying to text him in where he is, and then you find out he's bitten in the start of the second episode. Like that was kind of there was a couple predictable moments here and there, but I did enjoy it for what it was for the most part, and it has opened up a door of very exciting possibilities for the second season. That's the most exciting thing is the originality of this like not originality. I know zombies. A lot of people are getting tired of zombies, and like I can understand that. Like I personally am not getting too tired of them yet, and that. But I can understand respect people that are getting tired of them. But I'm talking originality as in that it's not based on a source material per se, and that of course it's inspired by the source material of The Walking Dead and everything, but it's not based on it like The Walking Dead is and everything. So we are opening to a door possibilities where nobody, unless you've found some leaked script details or anything like that, or set photos or something, nobody has any idea of what they have in store for us, and that's an exciting thing about this show. It's one of my favorite things about this show. So going off a 6 episode first season, I really enjoyed it. The finale was great. I liked how it ended, where Travis ends up beating that military dude, Adams, and that beating him to a pulp. The one who was, I think kind of boyfriend-esque to um, Daniel's daughter Ophelia, and you had Daniel torture him for information that led to them escaping and saving Liza and are trying to get as Griselda, but as we knew, Daniel's wife dies and that. But they saved Liza and everything before Liza's killed off at the end anyway, and that. So, but saying that though, um, yeah, I like to see where Travis beats Adams after Adams pretty much shoots Ophelia like in the shoulder, but she survived. Pretty fairly intense scene because in the finale with the title of it, The Good Man, I was under the impression I was starting to get worried if they would pull something where they would actually kill off one of the key males in the show, such as Travis or Daniel or something. I was like, I would really not want to see that, but I was starting to think they might, and that. But they didn't do it, and I was happy about that. I was happy because I want to see more of the back and forth between that both of them and how they actually go back and forth with Strand going forward as well, which will be interesting. But that's pretty much that on my thoughts for all my review for the Fear the Walking Dead and everything. If I have to give it a rating, I would give it an 8, and that I very much enjoyed this series. There's aspects of it which could be improved upon. It was a bit slow. They did skip some stuff we wanted to see and everything, and but for the most part, I enjoyed it as a fan of The Walking Dead and everything. I'm probably yeah, I'm probably maybe being a little bit biased to an extent, but for the most part, I'm viewing it as in a general standpoint and that. But yeah, I did enjoy it, and I very much enjoy it, and I'd give it an 8 out of 10. And yeah, if you listen to all of this and that, I thank you very much. And yeah, until then, I'll see you in the next video, guys.